It's easy to figure you out if I can have you now.
어느 날 세상이 멈췄어 아무런 예고도 하나 없이 꿈은 기다림을 몰라서 눈치 없이 와버렸어 자국이 지워진 거리 여기 남아져있는 나 혼자 가는 시간이 미안해 말도 없이
오늘도 비가 내릴 것 같아 흠뻑 젖어버렸네 아직도 멈추질 않아 저 먹구름보다 빨리 달려가 그럼 될 줄 알았는데 나 겨우 사람인가 봐 몹시 아프네 세상이란 놈이 지갑기 덕분에 눌러보는 먼지 쌓인 되갑기 넘어진 채 청하는 엇박자의 춤
Slowly kisses passing by the river.
A pragmatic theory of truth is one that is based on pragmatism ideologies. In the 1870s, the United States was the birthplace of pragmatism. The philosopher Charles Sanders Peirce, William James, and John Dewey are widely credited with developing and consider the practical repercussions of the objects of your ideal. Peirce said in 1878 in his pragmatic lecture. Thus, pragmatic truth theorists emphasize the larger practical and performative components of truth talk, emphasizing the function of truth in molding certain types of conversation. According to pragmatic, the theorists, these practical characteristics are critical to comprehending the concept of truth.
I will be giving you some examples of pragmatic theories of truth. First is James' pragmatic theory of truth. James suggests are like tools. They make us more efficient by helping us do what needs to be done. Second example is neo-pragmatic theories of truth. Neo-pragmatic theories of truth seem to endorse relativism about truth, whether and in what sense they did remains a point of contention.
Defining why pragmatic theory and verificationism is applicable to philosophy. According to a pragmatic theory of truth, a proposition is true if it is helpful to believe. Its main proponents were Peirce and James. Utility is the most important criterion for determining whether or not something is true. Thus, pragmatic truth theories highlight the larger practical and performative components of truth talk, emphasizing the importance of truth in structuring particular types of conversation. According to pragmatic theories, grasping the concept of truth requires certain practical components. True beliefs will be adopted at the end of investigation, according to C.S. Peirce, or in terms of utility, according to William James. Pragmatic theories of truth, on the other hand, are more broadly concerned with the relationship between truth and epistemic practices, including inquiry and assertion. True statements may be useful to believe. The product of inquiry have withstood ongoing scrutiny, meet a standard of justifiable assertability, or embody esoteric discourse norms, depending on the pragmatic theory. Pragmatic theories of truth, like other theories of truth, are frequently proposed as alternatives to correspondence theories of truth. Unlike correspondence theories, which see truth as a static relationship between a truth bearer and a truth maker. Pragmatic theories of truth see truth as a function of the practices people engage in, the commitments people make when solving problems, making assertions, or conducting scientific inquiry. While on the other hand, verificationism holds that only assertions can be empirically verified, are cognitively meaningful, while all other statements are logical truths.
These theories are sometimes referred to as neo-pragmatic theories to distinguish them from both classical and neo-pragmatic accounts. Like neo-pragmatic accounts, these theories are sometimes referred to as neo-pragmatic theories to distinguish them from both classical and neo-pragmatic accounts. Neo-pragmatic accounts discussed above, this theory gives relativism with a wide berth, avoiding defining truth in terms of concept, such as
verificationism. So verificationism considers that ideas must be verified using the senses or experiences. Or in other words, it is an idea that must be validated by using our sense or experience. The scientific method where experiments are designed to test hypotheses or confirm conclusions is an example of pragmatic approach in determining the truth. So the perfect example for this is the use of pragmatic theory in the study of yellow fever during the late 19th century. So long story short, people thought at first that the disease was transmitted through air, but was later refuted by Dr. Carlos Finlay, where he believed that the disease affected the blood and that the mosquito were its carriers. So this is all based on his examination. And Dr. Jesse Lazar heard Finlay's theory and decided to test it. He himself and other volunteers decided to be bitten by mosquitoes, where they hatched and fed with blood samples infected by yellow fever. Lazar and the other volunteers developed the symptoms of yellow fever, and that definitely proves that mosquitoes are indeed the carriers of the disease. So another example for this is the quote, if you eat all of the food on the table, then it will make you bigger. So why? Because this theory is scientifically proven and tested that eating too much would cause you to be much more bigger. So this theory is also beneficial or useful for us because it serves as a prevention to avoid complications such as obesity, heart problems, and etc.
This is Banya Samantha Summer, and I'm going to tell you why is testing and verification important in determining the truth. Without testing and verification, you don't have the real evidence. Testing and verification tells us what reality looks like. If a hypothesis is accurate, but might not be literally true or accurate in every condition, so we must value testing and verification because it is the cause of the scientific revolution occurred. And as well as, so without testing and verification, we must only stick with imagination, speculation, and hypothesis. And that is how important testing and verification in terms of determining truth.
Have you ever used practical means to figure out the truth about something? So first of all, each of us has different ways of finding out about the truth. It may either be in a logical explanation, or you could say you prefer the quality over the quantity kind of truth, or you are going to base it on how you practically would have done in finding out the truth. But basically, each and every one of us has to partake, or not partake, but would rather consider this kind of way to know about the truth. Using practical means, or a practical solution, or a practical way of finding out the truth is basically you are just going to find this idea of how you would find it, basically practically, and defining them as the truth. But you cannot just directly use practical means or the practical way in finding out about the truth about something, because you have to consider the facts or the factors that are included on that kind of case or type. But as an experience, I did also use the practical means of finding or figuring the truth about something. I was being practical at first because I was tracking the facts on how I would find this kind of the relevance of the truth that I was going to find. With that, you are going to be able to find out in a practical way instead of jumping into conclusions or taking the risk without knowing the whole effects or the whole factors that are considered part of it.
She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her.